What is up, my beautiful soul family? I am back at it with another video. So, as you can see by the title, today I'm going to be talking about values, the values in America, the system in America, and why it's still the same because our values are the same. Now, this is not the only reason, but it's definitely a big contributing factor. And so I just wanted to share with you guys, because if we really want the system to be different, though, we need to change our values and we need to change what systems we feed. So before we get into the video, I just want to remind you guys, don't forget to like, subscribe, follow me on all other platforms, my Fierce Leaders platform on Instagram and TikTok and all those things like that. Keep up to date with everything that's going on. I'm definitely going to be posting more because I've just been feeling like, I need to get this content out. So, yes, I'm, for those of you who do not know, I do have a media company called Fierce Leaders, and it's where I just, post articles, opinion pieces, think pieces, more of like thought leadership type of things where I, help people question like fear-based beliefs and fear-based systems rooted in fear, and question those so that we can all collectively move up to systems that are rooted in like liberation, so that we can channel that inner liberation from inside ourselves. So my media company basically just talks about how just shares opinion pieces, insights, thought leadership, reflective pieces, or just anything that helps people overcome their fears. Fierce Leaders is talking about it. You know what I'm saying? Fierce Leaders is, we own it. So, I think that's it. Like I said, don't forget to like and subscribe, and let's get into the video. All right. So, to get things kicked off, our system here in America is not necessarily, it's broken, but it's really kind of not in the same way, because it's like the system is a reflection of what we collectively value. And the only reason harmful systems are still up and thriving is because we keep giving them our money. And so the main idea here is that the system reflects our collective values, and real change actually starts with us. We're sitting here and we're waiting for the system to change. We're waiting for them to make these rules, and we're waiting for them to not make it so hard on certain marginalized groups to survive and things like that. But at the end of the day, we have to save ourselves. We can't just keep continuing to sit here and waiting for the system to change. We have to change. And the system is only going to change if we change first. We have to stop feeding the very system that harms us. And so I created this framework called VOICE, where voice is for values, O is for outcomes, I is for identity, C is for choice, and E is for embodiment. And I use this framework as a tool to guide personal and collective transformation, to help us remember, like, hey, we have the power here. We, the people, have the power here. And so I just want to start with a question, what if shifting your values could actually change the world around you? What if you just simply making the choice to change what's important to you and what you care about, you making the choice to shift your beliefs so that you can stop feeding that harmful system? What if the system changes when you change? The first letter here is V. V stands for values. Values are the foundation of every system. They determine what we prioritize and what we reward. They determine where our attention goes and what we deem is important to us. And so our current system here in America rewards image, productivity, profit over integrity, rest, and humanity. And so we that causes us to spend our time and our money and our attention into things that make us look better, into things that help us be more productive, into things that help us just make more money. And so the system values these things like image, productivity, dominance, and control. And so we as the people start to value those things because the system rewards us for valuing those things. And so then we spend our money on those things, and now it's like, where we put our attention shows what it is we truly value. And so money is the key that's kind of holding up our entire society. But money isn't really the problem here, because money only goes to the things that we value. We spend money on the things that we value. Money is more like the tool that shows us what it is we really care about as a society. And so money, if we shift where we spend our money, if we want to shift where we spend our money, if we want our money to go into systems that feed us, nurture us, and care about us, we have to shift where we spend our money. If we want to shift where we spend our money, we have to shift what we value. Money goes where value is perceived. Oh, you value that? Let's spend some money on it. You know what I'm saying? Money goes where value is perceived. So we have a choice to choose to shift our values towards things that support life, community, and self-acceptance. But we have to first go inwards and shift the beliefs that force us to value things like image, productivity, and profit over people. The next part is O, which stands for outcomes. So values shape our everyday lives. So society as a collective has been conditioned to value exploitation. Exploitation shows up in business, culture, education, and even our relationship with ourselves. Businesses prefer to sell emotions over impact. They prefer to look good instead of actually delivering what it is they say they're going to deliver. If people are selling products and services, they sell emotions and they tell us like, hey, this is going to make you feel this, this, and this. But when we buy it, we're either left needing to buy it again over and over and over again so that they can keep making money, or we're left feeling empty and hollow, like it didn't really do anything for us for real. Businesses value image instead of actually the services that they say they can give. Schools, our education system rewards grades over growth. And they teach us how to be laborers, and they teach us how to exploit ourselves, and they teach us how to work ourselves to the fucking bone, work ourselves like we're dogs, just so we can get a little piece of paper, just so we can survive. They teach us how to drain ourselves of that spark that makes us want to be alive so that we can make more money. That's exploitation. Our culture prioritizes opportunity over connection. So we connect with people based on what they can do for us and not for who they are. We say, oh, that person, if they can't give me this, this, and this, I don't want to talk to them. That just becomes a trend, and now people feel lonely. Now people feel like their friendships aren't real and connection isn't real, and it's just not there. And so we exploit other people when we do that. Like, hey, you can give me this, this, and this. I'll be your friend because you can give me that. That's exploitation. And then on top of that, the exploitation is also in our relationship with ourselves, because we choose to abandon ourselves and we choose to keep going to work over and over and over again, despite our hearts telling us, hey, this is not my head, my heart's not in this. Despite our hearts telling us, hey, this is not what I want to do with my life. We either abandon our joy, our emotions, or we always have to abandon ourselves in some way, shape, or form in order to show up for these harmful systems. And so now we're exploiting ourselves. We got the businesses exploiting us by overworking us. We got the education systems exploiting us by teaching us how to exploit ourselves. We got the culture exploiting us by separating us and making us so individualized and making us not prioritize community and making us prioritize opportunity over connection. And then all of that affects the way we see ourselves and we perceive ourselves. And now we're exploiting ourselves and we're abandoning ourselves just so we can show up for a system that continues to harm us. Our collective outcomes reflect the values that we live by. And by shifting values, we can change the results of the things that we experience. By shifting our values, we can feed a new system, a system that actually encourages us to show up for ourselves authentically, show up for other people authentically, a system that actually encourages us to build community and actually care about each other for real. So this next acronym is I, and it stands for identity. The system teaches us to tie our self-worth to appearance, output, status, dominance, control, productivity. It teaches us to tie our self-worth to external factors. It teaches us to search for external validation, especially in school, and that it teaches us to search for external validation, and that started with the education system. The education system was telling us what's right and what's wrong. You only get an A if you do it this way. You only get a B if you do it this way. Oh, you're being disruptive. You got to go. The system teaches us to tie our worth to things that can be taken away from us. And that is how that's how some of us are walking around only feeling worthy if we get all our work done. So some of us don't feel worthy of rest. Some of us only feel worthy if we got all these accomplishments, and now we feel worthy of existing. We've been taught to tie our worth to external factors, and we only feel worthy if we get those external factors, that validation. And this leads to us to just always feeling burnt out, and this leads us to abandoning ourselves and our spark and our joy and our will to want to be alive. And we start to project our pain on other people, and we avoid accountability. And oh my God, the avoidance of accountability in this country is crazy. And it's not just our fault. It's the government's fault too. It's the system's fault too, because they're not taking accountability. So why the fuck should we? Our leaders, our very leaders, the people who are leading this country are not taking accountability. So can we really blame the people for not taking accountability either? Can we really? And so our identities, they start to be reinforced by impression. And what I mean by that is like, okay, when the system gives us scraps, when the system gives us scraps and it gives us less than what we feel worthy for, because the system has taught us to equate our worth to external validation, we only feel worthy when they give us scraps. Now we don't even feel worthy when they give us more. We just like, whoa, it's too much. I don't deserve this. Huh? Like, we build entire identities around values like image, output, control, and dominance. And that enables exploitation, and it enables the system to continue to give us harm, to continue to abuse their power. It enables the system to continue feeding us scraps and starving us and just emotionally draining us. And our identities can either be reinforced by oppression or embodied liberation. We have a choice. And so when we start to embrace our inherent worth, which is you are worthy because you exist, which I talked about in my previous video, how to determine your own worth. You are worthy because you exist. The value that you bring to the world and your inherent worth are two different things. You're worthy because you exist. The value that you bring to the world is ever growing. It's ever changing. It's always going to grow and expand depending on whatever season you're in. For example, I am worthy just simply because I exist. This YouTube video is one way that I bring value into the world. This is not my entire identity. People start to associate their identities with what they can bring to the world. So if somebody says, oh yeah, someone who associates their worth with their value would probably say like, oh yeah, I do YouTube videos. I'm a YouTuber. So now this person for all of a sudden only feels worthy when they create YouTube videos and they get responses from people and they you know what I'm saying? So that person could only feel worthy when they make content or when they get a certain amount of likes or something like that. And that's not inherently wrong. I mean, if you want to associate your worth with what you bring into the world, you can. But all I'm saying is that's going to have you in this constant loop of always chasing that feeling of being worthy. And it's unstable. It's not stable. So embracing inherent worth, being worthy for simply existing, lets us reclaim our identity from societal pressures. Now the system no longer has the power to control us by telling us how. Now the system no longer has the power to control how we feel about ourselves, because we feel worthy regardless of what we put out into the world. And that is when we start to move into C, choice. We have a choice to choose what we value regardless of what the system tells us what we should value. Real power comes from choosing what it is we value, regardless of if the system is going to reward it or not. The system only has power over us, and it can only control how our lives play out is if we continue to associate our worth and our value with what the system tells us is valuable and worthy. Every decision that we make, we have a choice to choose what we buy, how we spend our time, the boundaries we set, the opportunities that we take. We have a choice to choose, okay, is this something that I value? You have a choice like, hey, okay, this opportunity that's in my face right now, you can see the value in it. Yeah, this is probably going to help me excel career-wise, but what do I have to sacrifice myself in order to accept this opportunity? What do I have to sacrifice for this opportunity to help me expand? And is that something that I want to sacrifice? A lot of people have to sacrifice their fucking personalities. Some people got to sacrifice their feelings. Some people got to sacrifice their joy. You have to, depending on what it is you value, will help you make that decision. And so shifting our choices individually, if we all individually shift what it is we choose to value, collective change will start to happen all by itself. Collective change will start to automatically feed a new system that actually helps us grow and expand, because we're choosing to value other things. We are making the choice to stop valuing the very system that harms us. Now, don't get me wrong. The system has value when it comes to career. This is America. This is capitalism. We here to make some fucking money. Let's be real. But if you're somebody who's like, if you value making money, which I feel like everybody should, I mean, you'll find a way to make it work in a way where you do not have to continue to sacrifice who it is you are at your core, where you don't have to abandon yourself, your feelings. You can still feed the system. You can still feed the good parts of the system and starve the bad parts of the system. Bad, good, whatever. You can still feed the parts of the system that help you succeed, while also starving the parts of the system that drain you and cause you to abandon yourself, abandon your feelings and your emotions. If we all make the choice to shift our values individually, collectively, we will naturally change the system all on its own. This last acronym is E, and it stands for embodiment. If we want to see a better system, we have to embody the values that we want the system to reflect back to us. The system is like a mirror. It's a mirror of what we value as a collective. We have to if we want the system to reflect back to us things like peace, growth, authenticity, community, interdependence, we have to embody those values in our day-to-day life. We have to make choices that shows the universe like, hey, oh, this person values their peace. Okay, this person values their growth. Okay, this person values their authenticity. And as a result, we'll start to feed new systems. We'll even just start to build new systems all on our own, because I'm pretty sure there's going to be something. We're going to need some type of system where it's like, okay, this system doesn't reflect, this system is not reflecting back to me the values that I want to see in my day-to-day life. So what can I do to build a system? What can I do to create a system that reflects these values back to me? You can get a team of people who value the same shit, and y'all build that system. That system will grow and expand in its own way. So daily practices that reflect the values that you want the system to reflect back to you. Rest, helping others, meditation, reflection. Make the values tangible. Everything you do should reflect the values that you want the system to reflect back to you. And I know that can be like, oh my God, sometimes it's a lot of fucking responsibility. It is a lot of responsibility to take care of yourself. Let's just be so real. I've been through moments where I'm just like, it's a lot of fucking responsibility to take care of yourself. And for those people who struggle with depression, I get it. Sometimes you're just fucking tired. Sometimes I'm fucking tired too, okay? But listen, even just little shit throughout the day. Like, okay, for example, Gen Zs, we feed doom scrolling. We keep showing the media that we value mindless scrolling. We put our time, our energy, and our attention into content that actively harms. We keep watching the news. I know Gen Zs don't really watch news like that, but we keep putting our time and energy into the news that's constantly feeding us all these negative. Hey, this terrible shit just happened all over across the world. This terrible shit just happened across the world. And it keeps going and going and going and going. By us continuing to watch that shit, we're telling the media we value news that makes us feel terrible. So they're gonna be like, okay, the people value this, let's keep giving it to them over and over and over again. And that's how the system works. That's how the universe works. I feel like that's like a law of the universe or some shit like that. Like, I don't know what law it is, but that's just how shit works around here. If you keep giving it your time and attention, it's going to give some shit back to you. It's going to give back to you. It's going to give back to you what you're showing it is you value. So if we want to see a better system, if we want to see a better way of living, we need to lead by example. We need to shift our values internally. And that is how you show people what you value, and they will be inspired to shift their own values. Collective embodiment reshapes the system. If we want the system to be better, we need to be better. We need to be better. Shift your beliefs. Your beliefs are what shift your values. Values that help you. I think that it would just be, if the collective could shift into values that help learn self-acceptance. Game changer. Values that help you learn self-acceptance. If everybody collectively agreed to shift to values that help us learn to accept ourselves completely and fully, come on now, what? Like, I'm sure we can all come to an agreement on values that help us accept ourselves more. You get what I'm saying? So just to kind of wrap things up, the system changes when we change. We are the system. The system. Can anybody physically see the system standing here? No. The system, I'm not saying the system is not real. It's real. It's just, it's a reflection of what we value, and it's a reflection of what we believe. We have that much power over the system, regardless of the fucking laws. I promise you, we are not as powerless as they want us to feel. We are not as powerless as they want us to feel. We are not as powerless as they want us to feel. I just needed needed to say that again, okay? We are the system. I just want to encourage you, like, what values are you living by? What are the things that are most important to you? Like, what are the things that are most important to you, and how are they affecting your life? What world are they creating for you? What reality are they creating for you? What your value? If you don't, sometimes you can start on the outside. What does your reality look like? What is it consisting of? All right. If you really reflect on that, okay, let's say, you, everywhere you go, you constantly see bad shit happening. Bad shit is always all around you, and no matter what you do, where you go, you're never fully safe. Okay, so if you really look at that on a deeper level, that says, okay, there's some part of you that just values danger. I mean, like, I know it's like, it's not that simple, but it kind of really is. There's some part of you that values chaos. There's some part of you that feels safe in danger and in chaos, therefore causing you to not feel safe. And that means it is your job to reflect on why you feel that way. And I just want to remind you guys, every choice you make matters. Even the mistakes. The mistakes are not really mistakes. Mistakes are not real. Mistakes are not real. Mistakes are not real. Mistakes are just mistakes. Learning experiences. A mistake is only a mistake if you perceive it as a mistake. If you're somebody, like, I'm somebody who values growth. So the mistakes I make, I learned. It wasn't a mistake. I needed to learn that lesson. I needed to go through that experience so that I can learn the wisdom that came with making that mistake. Every choice you make matters, and every choice you make is a reflection of what it is you truly value. If we all start to lead, we're already leading with our values. It's just that some of our values are fucked up. Some of our values, most of us in America who were born and raised here in America have been conditioned to value shit that harms us. So we're already leading with our values. We just need to change our values. Together, we can create a system that serves us all by shifting our values individually. Shifting our values individually will shift our values collectively. So that's all I got right now. You know what I'm saying? Thank you for being here. Thank you for being here. I just want to remind you guys, please don't forget to like, subscribe, and please comment, because like this low-key this is an opinion piece, so everybody's open to their opinions, but I just, it's an opinion perspective piece, and I want to share my perspective with you guys. And if you really resonated with it and you really connected with it, please comment. Let's have a conversation. I want to talk about it. And yeah, don't forget to follow me on all of my other platforms. And I hope to see you guys in the next video. Peace.